Caitlin Clark is revolutionizing basketball with her electrifying skills and fearless competitive spirit. Her jaw-dropping performances haven't just won over fans and analysts, they've also caught the attention of NBA legends who usually stay quiet about the WNBA. No single player has ever sparked such a mix of admiration and debate among the sport's biggest names. From shattering records to redefining how the game is played, Clark is inspiring an entirely new generation of athletes.
When you take into stock the fact that outside of Kevin Durant, aging superstar, LeBron James, 40 years old, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular today than Caitlin Clark.
But Caitlin Clark's journey hasn't been without challenges. Doubters have questioned her abilities, and critics have tried to downplay her achievements. However, two of basketball's biggest legends, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, have stepped up to share their thoughts on Clark, and what they had to say could change the way people see her forever. With all the discussion surrounding Caitlin Clark, none other than Michael Jordan himself has weighed in, and his words change everything. The WNBA owes Caitlin a lot for what she's done for the game, Jordan stated, but his message wasn't just about praise, it was a wake-up call. He didn't stop at acknowledging her impact, he directly called out the league's officiating, pointing out that referees have been blatantly unfair to Clark. Jordan made it clear, it's time for the WNBA to step up and fix this. And when the greatest basketball player of all time speaks, people listen. Jordan's statement only reinforces that Caitlin Clark isn't just another player, she's a true game changer. Her influence on the sport isn't just significant, it demands recognition and, most importantly, respect. And next up, we have none other than Steph Curry, four-time NBA champion, two-time league MVP, and the greatest shooter in basketball history. A longtime fan of Caitlin Clark's game, Curry has never hesitated to praise her skills, even back when she was dominating college defenses.
Her range, her three-point shooting overall, her flair for testing her range every night and knowing that the other team's going to try to take it away. And she's fearless. No shot is a bad shot, and when you can shoot it as well as she can. She just adds another element of surprise that you can't really game plan for because it's so kind of just
Coming from a player who changed the game with his shooting, Curry's praise is no small thing. What makes his admiration even more special is the unique skill he and Clark share, an almost unreal shooting range that forces defenders to stay alert the moment they step past half court. But here's where it gets truly mind-blowing. Clark's average three-point attempt comes from a staggering 28 feet, 1.1 inches. That's even deeper than the peak shooting distances of Trae Young, Damian Lillard, and yes, even Curry himself. No wonder people joke that you need to start guarding Caitlin Clark the second she walks into the gym.
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. And then her just confidence, you can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair, like she's a performer.
Kevin Durant, a two-time NBA champion and the 2014 NBA MVP, has been one of Caitlin Clark's biggest supporters. He has studied her game closely and can't stop praising what makes her such a unique and talented player.
Always had the ball in her hands. Everybody was playing off of her. She just commanded the whole game. I was like, who the hell is this? She is nice. It was like, oh, she's the best player in the country.
Durant has analyzed why Caitlin Clark is one of the most dangerous offensive players he's ever seen. From her unlimited shooting range to her elite playmaking skills, he sees the makings of a generational superstar. But what impresses Durant the most? Her relentless work ethic. He knows from experience that greatness isn't just about talent, it's about the countless hours spent perfecting your craft. And in Caitlin Clark, he sees a player who's not only shattering records, but also redefining what's possible in women's basketball.
Her period right now, she's incredible.
She's advanced, man. She could do a lot out there. And she's making the right plays. She can draw so much attention, and she just baiting the defense in. I'll still make a cross-court pass. Just like, that's just muscle memory. I work on this every day.
Allen Iverson, a player who left a lasting impact on the NBA, sees a lot of himself in Caitlin Clark. Just as Iverson changed the game with his flashy handles and fearless scoring, Clark is doing the same in the WNBA, captivating fans and raising the bar for women's basketball. Both players carried enormous pressure from their college days into the pros, with critics doubting whether they could maintain their dominance at the next level. And just like Iverson silenced his doubters, Clark is proving she belongs among the best. Iverson recently shared his admiration for Clark, breaking down what makes her such a rare talent. He highlighted her ability to take over games with her scoring, a quality he was famous for. But beyond the points, Iverson sees something even more important: Clark's ability to make her teammates better. He knows that being a superstar isn't just about scoring, it's about elevating those around you. And despite being one of the youngest players in the WNBA, Clark already possesses that rare skill.
And shoot the blood out of the ball. You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, you know, and not just scoring in basketball, getting her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure watching her, and I just think down the road, she's going to only get better.
During his prime, Allen Iverson carried the Philadelphia 76ers to the NBA Finals with sheer determination and unstoppable scoring. Despite not having a superstar supporting cast, he willed his team to success. And when he looks at Caitlin Clark, he sees that same relentless drive, someone who can push her team forward no matter the odds. However, Iverson also knows that for Clark to truly reach her full potential, the Indiana Fever must build the right team around her. He believes her best days are still ahead, and as she continues to develop, she'll only improve at leading her team and overcoming new challenges. Just like he did, Iverson is confident Clark will figure out how to elevate her team, evolving into the kind of player who can turn a franchise into a championship contender. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic, a perennial MVP candidate and one of the brightest young stars in the NBA, has given Clark one of the highest compliments possible, calling her the women's Steph Curry. But if that wasn't impressive enough, he even admitted that she might be a better shooter than he is. Coming from a player known for his own shooting brilliance, that's about as high of praise as it gets.
It's a woman, Steph Curry. Thank you. She can shoot it better than me.
Indiana Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton wasted no time welcoming Caitlin Clark to Indiana. From the moment she was drafted, he had nothing but admiration for her game, recognizing her as a game-changing talent who could elevate the Fever and take women's basketball to new heights.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for her to be here. I think it brings a lot of excitement to the city, and you know, a city with a lot of young talent already as it is, and adding her, you know, she's one of the faces of women's basketball, and for her to be here and under the same roof, you know, I think is really exciting for me, and I think a lot of people in our organization.
Halliburton's support isn't just words. He's been a constant presence at Fever games, often spotted courtside, fully engaged in the action. Whether he's cheering for big plays or shaking his head in disbelief at Clark's deep three-pointers, his reactions make it clear how much he respects her talent, but his excitement goes beyond just basketball. It's about what Clark represents for the city of Indianapolis and its passionate sports culture.
Aside for almost all of Caitlin's games, any big takeaways?
She's a great player, and I just like watching her play. I like watching all the girls play. You know, they're getting a lot better as the season's went on. Leah had a great game the other day. Kelsey's been great. But I like going watching basketball. So as long as I'm in Indy and I'm not doing nothing, I'm going to go watch the game. It's always fun to do. So I love being able to go watch Fever games. The excitement in the city is awesome. It's cool when I bring people who, like, I brought a couple friends who haven't been to a WNBA game before, and they're like, bro, it's in the third level. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's what Fever games are like now, you know? So it's really cool to see the excitement around the team.
Clark's arrival has injected new energy into Indiana, and Halliburton has been one of her biggest supporters. He recognizes the importance of having a generational talent in the city and is fully backing the Fever's rise. Whether through social media shoutouts or showing up in person, Halliburton has made it clear he believes in Clark and is excited to share the spotlight with another superstar, helping take Indiana basketball to new heights. Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominant players in basketball history, was initially one of Caitlin Clark's skeptics. His loyalty to LSU and close ties with Angel Reese influenced his early views on Clark's game. During the 2023 National Championship, when LSU defeated Iowa, Shaq didn't hold back in questioning whether Clark could perform at the highest level.
She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls in WNBA that have done it in spurts, but you know, that game I'm watching y'all in the Final Four, I'm like, damn, like, and I was a hater because, you know, I'm down. She was like, she's not going to hit that shot, and bam, like, damn, she's not going to hit that shot, man. Like, if I say 10 times you're not going to hit the shot and you hit the shot, that means you.
But as Clark continued her incredible rise, dominating game after game, O'Neal started to reconsider his stance. The deep three-pointers, the elite playmaking, the ability to carry a team every single night, it was impossible to overlook. Eventually, the Hall of Famer had to admit the truth. Caitlin Clark was something special. In a refreshingly honest moment on Angel Reese's podcast, Shaq didn't hold back about his change of heart. He openly admitted that Clark had proven him wrong, stating,
"She's done for the game the last couple years. I mean, she is a shining star. And you know, the thing I like about her, man, she doesn't say a word. Yeah, she's never said a word about anybody. She just shows up and does her job."
Earning that level of respect from one of the greatest players in basketball history is no small feat. Shaq's shift from doubt to admiration speaks volumes about Clark's impact. She's forcing even her toughest critics to take notice. Charles Barkley, known for his blunt and unfiltered opinions, has been closely following Caitlin Clark's rise. While he's always recognized her incredible shooting range and playmaking ability, what impresses him most isn't just the stats, it's her mentality. Barkley has seen plenty of talented players over the years, but few have handled the pressure, scrutiny, and even hostility the way Clark has. In a recent interview, Barkley praised Clark's poise, saying,
"But I didn't think she was going to have to worry about all this petty nonsense that's going on. These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they try."
But Barkley didn't stop there. He's been one of the most outspoken voices calling out the unfair treatment Clark has faced on the court. He's noticed the unnecessary roughness, the cheap shots, and the way officials have overlooked blatant fouls. And he's not okay with it. "I get it. Rookies have to earn their respect," Barkley said. "But what they're doing to Caitlin isn't basketball. It's petty nonsense, and it needs to stop."
If you ain't in a Steph Curry shape, that's how she plays.
Coming from a player who thrived in one of basketball's toughest, most physical eras, that's a big statement. If even Barkley, who built his career on being a relentless competitor, believes Clark is being unfairly targeted, then there's clearly something going on. Clark isn't just proving she belongs in the WNBA, she's making everyone in the sport rethink how they view and treat its biggest stars. And with legends like Barkley backing her, the conversation about fairness, respect, and the future of women's basketball is only growing louder. Then there's Kevin Garnett, the fiery Hall of Famer known as the Big Ticket. He doesn't hand out praise easily, but when it comes to Caitlin Clark, he's making a comparison that has the basketball world buzzing. He's putting her in the same league as Steph Curry. That's right, Garnett sees Clark as more than just an elite shooter. To him, she's a generational talent reshaping the way the game is played. And what makes him say that? Simple. Her limitless shooting range, lightning quick release, and fearless confidence. Just like Curry, Clark doesn't wait for the perfect shot. She creates her own. The moment she crosses half court, defenders have to stay locked in because she's a threat from anywhere. That kind of offensive firepower forces teams to completely rethink their defensive strategies. "If you ain't in Steph Curry shape, that's how she plays, bro," Garnett said. But Garnett didn't just praise her skills. He also addressed one of the biggest controversies of the year, her Olympic snub. On air, he called it out, saying Clark deserved a spot on Team USA. More importantly, though, he gave her huge respect for how she handled the situation. Instead of complaining, Clark stayed focused on the WNBA and kept grinding. That level of maturity and leadership didn't go unnoticed. Garnett called her a true game changer, someone who's not just making history, but shaping the future of women's basketball.
I think USA dropped the ball on this. We have a new wave coming in, and it's being denied. You know, I think the WNBA, this is just my view, bro. They've established something and they built something, right? They got something. It's a new wave that is here. And it's got a major blockage on it, man. Listen, to everybody out here, bro, we're not fighting over the pie that's been established. The ideal is to grow the pie.
Paul Pierce, another Celtics legend, couldn't hold back his admiration either. After witnessing Caitlin Clark's unforgettable 41-point showcase against LSU in the NCAA tournament, Pierce was left speechless. He didn't just call it impressive, he went as far as to say it was the greatest performance he had ever seen in a college tournament, male or female. That's a huge statement coming from a guy who has watched decades of March Madness history unfold. But Pierce didn't stop there. He also chimed in on the Olympic snub debate, standing with Kevin Garnett and saying Team USA made a big mistake by leaving Clark off the roster. To Pierce, Clark isn't just another rising star, she's a game changer. She's bringing new fans to the sport and redefining what's possible in the WNBA.
Claim you want the women's game to grow, and then you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball off the team. How do you grow internationally and domestically if you don't put her on the U.S. team? It just makes the most sense. Sometimes you have to say, hey guys, this is bigger than the game, which it is.
When legends like Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce are speaking up for you, it's clear you're making waves. Caitlin Clark isn't just earning respect from her fellow players, she's gaining recognition from some of the greatest to ever play the game. And with the way she's performing, this is only the beginning. But here's where things take an interesting turn. Not everyone sees it the same way as Garnett and Pierce. Enter Indiana Pacers legend Reggie Miller, a sharpshooter who knows all about dealing with physical play and high-pressure moments. Unlike Garnett and Pierce, Miller isn't exactly shocked by what Clark is going through. In fact, he sees it as just part of the process.
Playing at the highest level, you're playing in the Wnba. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked, right? You're playing against grown women. The same thing happened to us as rookies, going against MJ. They're out there trying to embarrass you. It's nothing personal.
From Miller's point of view, this is professional basketball. Nothing is handed to you, no matter how talented you are. Veteran players aren't just gonna step aside and let a newcomer take over. They're gonna push you, test your toughness, and make sure you earn every ounce of respect. And right now, that's exactly what Caitlin Clark is experiencing. But here's the catch. Miller isn't doubting her. He's been watching closely, and what he sees is a player who refuses to fold under pressure. Game after game, Clark continues to prove she belongs. The physicality, the scrutiny, the elevated competition, none of it is rattling her. Instead, she's adapting, learning, and coming back even stronger.
I absolutely love everything that Caitlin Clark stands for and what she has done for the women's game.
And Miller, he's been paying close attention. He knows exactly what it takes to survive and excel in a league where nothing is handed to you. If Caitlin Clark continues on this path, it's only a matter of time before even her harshest critics have no choice but to acknowledge her talent. And now, we've reached the moment everyone has been waiting for. The thoughts of Larry legend himself, Larry Bird.
Max looking, loops it to Bird, a runner. It's good! It's good! And the Celtics win it!
Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires and goes! She hit it!
For months, fans and analysts have drawn comparisons between Caitlin Clark and Larry Bird, highlighting their shared confidence, killer instinct, and ability to take over games in clutch moments. But now, Bird himself has spoken, and when a legend like him weighs in, you know it means something.
Yeah, he had a great run, and it's fun to watch. You know, and they moved the basketball. He's well coached. I watched him all the time. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa. Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I've watched a lot of basketball.
The Hall of Famer himself has been keeping a close eye on Caitlin Clark's journey, admitting that he tunes into her Iowa games just as much as he follows his alma mater, Indiana State. That's a big deal coming from a man who changed the game with his skill, confidence, and ability to thrive under pressure. Larry Bird has never been one to hand out compliments lightly, so for him to recognize Clark's impact speaks volumes. He sees more than just talent. He sees a player who is pushing the boundaries of what's possible in basketball. And when a legend like Bird gives you his seal of approval, you know you're on the right path. There you have it. NBA icons, Hall of Famers, and MVPs all tipping their hats to Caitlin Clark. But this is about more than just praise or comparisons. Clark is changing the game, breaking barriers, and inspiring an entire generation. Young boys and girls everywhere are watching her dominate, proving that talent, hard work, and unshakable confidence can rewrite the rules. A new era in the WNBA is unfolding before our eyes. This isn't just history in the making, we're living it. And the best part? Caitlin Clark is just getting started. The road ahead is filled with endless possibilities, and one thing is certain, this is only the beginning of something truly legendary. Are you ready? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.